So now you've got to the point where you don't need the validation from others. You know, you're happy with your pectus carinatum and it's not causing you issues anymore. You're not really concerned how you were about what people think of you. And now you're relaxing, you're chilling out and you're thinking, you know, this isn't something to worry about. I don't have to work as hard. However, there's one person that you need validation from, which you might start to slack on, and that is yourself. You need to validate yourself. You need to be happy with yourself. And for a while, at the beginning, you're doing it for other people. You're building that six pack and you're trying to conceal your pectus carinatum. So then you kind of fit in and then you're not looked at as a bit of a weirdo because you've got a pigeon chest. But once that kind of dims and like maybe you've got your six pack and you've got a little bit of chest muscles and you're not really concerned about what other people think about you, you start to slack and then you start to disappoint yourself after a while. After a couple of years of that, you'll start to become unhappy with yourself. And you still don't care about what other people think about your pigeon chest. But then, because you haven't been putting the work in, and maybe you haven't been eating healthy, and you haven't been taking care of your fitness and building muscle, after a while, you return to that same feeling, that original feeling of unhappiness, possibly unworthiness, but it all comes down to you traded your good habits for contentment, and then that contentment just kind of makes you go downhill. So the trick is, don't become content. And take it from me, I've been through the cycle now. And now the one true path, the true path that you need to stay on it is going up. You just need to continuously, in every area of your life, make positive changes in the right direction and get rid of all the bad habits, because eventually it's going to become even worse than that original feeling where you got that, you know, you think that you're undesirable and it's hard to explain, but basically if you don't do what you know that you need to do on a daily basis, eventually you're going to come full circle and you're going to come back to that exact same feeling right at the beginning where you feel like you need to make changes because you want to feel better about yourself. And then you're going to have a lot more work to do. The younger you are, the easier it is, because especially once you hit around 25, mid-20s, your metabolism will slow down. And if your eating habits don't change, you know, when you're 20 or below, or around that age, you can have bad eating habits and it doesn't really affect you. But once you start getting into your mid-20s, it's real. Your metabolism does slow down. And if you don't change your eating habits, you're going to have a lot of work to do. It really depends on what your standards are for yourself. But if you have high standards for yourself and you want to be like a high level kind of person and you don't want to be overweight and you want to be healthy, you need to put the work in every single day and you need to stop those negative habits. Because probably around 22 years old, I became content. Well, actually before that I was content. But you know, if those bad eating habits catch up to you, then you're going to have years of work and it's going to be hard work. So while you're still young, don't go through the cycle. Well, I mean, everyone's got to learn in their own way. But if I could go back in time, I just wouldn't have gone through the cycle. I'm glad I have. So then I've learned, I've experienced that, but I am not taking any more back steps. You know, usually, you know, you'll do some positive things and then you'll reward yourself with something negative as a reward, which doesn't make any sense. It's self-destructive. It's self-sabotage. And if you don't take that back step and you just continuously make forward steps, good steps every single day, and you never take that back step, you become one of these high-level people where people are like, how does he do it? It's like people think that you're lucky, people think that you've got there through luck, but it is your determination, your discipline, and your willpower where you get there. And I am on that path now, and I'm not taking any more back steps. If I never took back steps, I could have had a big YouTube channel right now. I could be really, really healthy right now. but I have work to do, and I'm glad. And it's going to be hard, and I'm glad that it's going to be hard because I am disciplined, and I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna stay disciplined. And it's hard because when you're young, you think you've got time and you think you can get away with making bad choices, but they catch up to you. And I've been very, very lucky that it hasn't caught up to me where I've got some kind of terrible disease like cancer. But some people die young, and some people get so unhealthy where they actually can't get it back. So before you get to that point, make the decision now and start making the good decisions and building good habits, positive mental attitude. So then you're going to be the person that you dream about in 5, 10 years time, or even less. And enjoy the process of doing it. I enjoy coming out here, and I enjoy eating healthy now. I enjoy working towards that person that I want to be in the future, rather than rewarding myself with something negative and taking that back step. If I'm making 2 good steps forward every day, and I do that for 7 days, that's 14 steps forward. But then usually people on the weekends, you've got to have a drink, or you've got to do something negative, you've got to have some junk food, and then you take like 4 steps back. You've only gone 10, and then eventually your mind is so weak where you just continuously take back steps. That's the thing, it gets you in where you're like, I've took 14 good steps forward over the week, 2 steps every day, 14 steps over the week. So I'm going to take a couple steps back and enjoy myself over the weekend because I'm justified in doing so, aren't I? But then it gets a hold of you, and then you end up taking 50 steps back and no steps forward. If that makes any sense, because it grabs a hold of you and it won't let you go because you ain't got that willpower, and then you become like a weak person, and it's just pathetic how weak you can become when you start dabbling in just junk food or dabbling in in alcohol or anything like that. It makes you weak. It weakens you, and it's pathetic. And if you want to be that person, if you want a family, you want to be a good father, and you want to bring good people into this world, and you want to be a positive individual overall, get rid of all that shit because it does not serve you. It doesn't serve the people around you. It does nothing positive for you in your life. And you can be someone that you can't even visualize how great you can be if you just get rid of all of that stuff and every day you focus on moving forward. Just stop taking back steps, continuous forward steps. Stop self-sabotaging. Don't take any steps back. Rewards are not steps back. Rewards are steps forward. Positive changes in your life is a reward. That's the reward. Eating healthy is the reward. That's not hard work. That's not a punishment. That is the reward. And then you enjoy working out. You enjoy being fit and healthy enough to come out places like this, just out in the middle of nowhere, on your own. You're healthy enough to do that. That is such a blessing because once something like that is taken from you, you'll want to do that. And just human nature is, you want to do what you're not able to do. You want to have what you haven't got. That's one of those things. Once you lose your health, and sometimes you can't get it back. It's irreversible. And every time you reward yourself with something negative, you are ultimately taking time away from your future, and you're taking quality away from your future. And we've got one chance at this life. Let's do it right. Let's stop rewarding ourselves with negativity and bad things. Reward yourself with good things every single day. Together, let's make positive steps forward every single day, and don't take any more back steps.